Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think it's a good point that they're raising. You know, talking about Starhorn Royal Club, they are 3-0, and the rest of the analysts on the desk were talking how it's going to be TPA or TSM that could be the second team to make it out of the group. We'll get to that later. Let's talk a little bit about this particular matchup, because I think for a long period of time, both of these guys were super even. SK held strong in the laning phase despite losing 2v2. Candy Pen and Rated just looked outclassed.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to go back to picks and bans that a little bit, because you basically have a champion like Zilean, who is this very non-committal sort of poke champion, in that he's going to toss a bomb on you and then has very little follow-up since. He's got exactly 1 damage ability. Right? No shields, no defensive ability, still 6. And when you have a champion like Janna, she can match the bomb damage with a shield and then actually have some follow-up. And so it's an automatically losing lane. Plus, you're adding Twitch to the matchup, which is also a very weak laner, probably the actual weakest laner of AD carries. So you've got a horrible 2v2, and it played out exactly as you expect. Uzi gets to win in CS as a Tristana, and they get the heads-up double kill as well. Like, that's such a bad way to start the game out, and they opt into the lanes and they opt into the matchups as well.
Yeah, and really with the Zilean pick, it seems like you want to get your carries strong and fed. And with Twitch and Syndra and even Kha'Zix, they were fighting too much. They never really got farm, so Zilean's not going to matter if you're not getting these big ticket items. And they kind of were fighting and then rezzing someone who had like double Doran's pickaxe. It's like, it's not going to be a big deal when you res someone like that.
Yeah, the one person that was farming that did a fantastic job was, of course, Freddy and that Dr. Mundo. Yeah. This game, in my eyes, felt like Freddy and friends versus Starhorn Royal Club, because he really carried hard. I feel like his involvement in the top lane and teleports was strong. I know probably you were talking about how he was involved in a lot of the big objective plays in the mid game for SK.
Yeah, the play bottom that happened actually was Starhorn Royal Club pressing a big advantage. And Freddy noticed that, hey, these guys are way too far out, and right now I'm hitting a big tanky power spike. So he did a big TP bot and just let top, rise free farm. And what happened is something that went bad for SK turned into something good because Freddy saw an opportunity and took advantage of it.
Yeah, it worked in their favor. The other side, of course, it is Royal Club that came away with a win.
Sure.
Uzi, once again, a stellar performance. I would say probably more aggressive than we've seen out of all 3 games. He's got over a 15 KDA throughout Worlds. What did you take away from this Royal Club matchup, and maybe Uzi in particular?
Uzi, I think the game went kind of you expected. Gilius fed him a free kill early game. He tower dove him kind of for no reason and gave him the first kill. Again, the double kill bot lane, where the Zilean lane all-ins pre-6. It's like, you're going to get 6 first. Wait till spray and pray, wait till the Zilean chrono shift, then all in, not a wave early and give up 2 kills to that one. Like, SK had these tools here that they just used improperly. And at that point, you've got a team with very little threat against Tristana. He outranges the Syndra, he's going to outrange the Dr. Mundo. Triss is one of the best champions at killing Mundo as well. And so the game is just set up for Uzi to win, kind of like handed on a silver platter by SK, so of course it's going to play out that way.
This particular matchup, I think more than the previous 2 games from Royal Club, reminded me more of how they played in the LPL regional qualifiers. It was very chaotic, it was very all-in. Royal Club didn't necessarily, in my eyes, have that same level of control that they demonstrated against Team Solo Mid yesterday. Do you think there is still possibilities for this team to suffer losses? They've beaten all 3 of their opponents.
Yeah. They
have to redo that over the coming days. How do people bounce back against the number 1 team in Group E?
I think you can take advantage of the fact that Uzi's going to play a little bit aggressively, about the fact that this team still is uncoordinated, right? They don't all speak the same language fluently, which means you're going to have these missteps. And any aggressive team is going to have this sort of 80-20 split of it's going to be right a lot of the time, but sometimes it's completely the wrong play. And you got to hope the 20 comes up.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's almost a double-edged sword. The way they play really aggressively is borderline reckless. And it really just takes one team to know what they're doing like very well and have very big decisions, and it's going to crumble really quickly for them. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take control of a game that's, falling out of their favor.
Well, they did it sort of against TPA, but that's more TPA's mistake than them regaining control. Well. Right, so we talked about this. Let's talk about the standings, rather, and see how these teams are stacking up. We're halfway through day 1. And, of course, we're going to kick things off with Group A. Samsung White, clear favourites 2-0 in that group. We will be seeing them playing next up, actually, against Dark Passage. Over in Group B, I think this is the interesting one. Team Solo Mid 1-1. TPA 1-1, and despite SK 0-3, if SK's opponents, Team Solomon and TPA, suffer losses, SK can go 1 and 3, their opponents are 1 and 2, they're looking closer.
So basically, as long as TSM and TPA beat each other once, like assuming Royal Club 6-0 is what I think is going to happen, if TSM and TPA go 1-1 against each other throughout the group stage, SK comes back with Svenskeren and beats TSM and TPA back, all the teams are 2 and 4. They can all just have a big, nice three-way tiebreaker with all 1-1 against each other, and I think it's actually very possible.
Typical European team in the group, and there's the possibilities of tiebreakers. We'll see how that pans out. I have to refresh my memory on how those rules work, actually. Anyways, guys, we are going to take a brief break while Dark Passage and Samsung White load onto the stage for our next match. We will be right back with more coverage from Taiwan.
By the way, this guy's insect, so flash before he can insect you. So he kicks you in the other direction.
Okay, boys, we just got taught how to counter an insect.
Gilius sidesteps there from the Sonic Wave, but he gets kicked in, and there's the ultimate from Korn. Insect in the meantime going to be fast onto by Candy Panda. They kill him, they're going to kill Kohler as well. SK gaming to go for this one, Zero the focus, he goes down, Kohler in the next run, but they're going to get on towards him. Gilius goes down, Kohler may go down as well as Freddy comes back in. There's the heels coming out, and they kill off Freddy. Jez is locked up, the ultimate coming out of Candy Panda, but he's just forced back onto the mountain and taken down by Uzi. He is just that strong.